certain game in the national where you could just see Nathan McKinnon shifting left and right, spinning around. I saw a lot of Avalanche fans complaining about this game not to get more than one pass rush left. Whose overall morale should be in theory stepping into the game and everything, right? So the fact that the Colorado Avalanche could not buy one by him, well, I'm just thinking maybe out loud as far as in their shoes right now. It's like, all right, we've done all the thinking we can do. We've done all the game planning we can do. Maybe, just screw it. And we'll just go in next year. Kemper as well. Connor Garland stood out to me as to having a few very, prime quality opportunities where he was either one-on-one with a goalie or one-on-one with an open cage. He just missed the net or it came back into the goalie for a really quick save attempt a few times. Then you had yourself, of course, Elias Pettersson, who had a short-handed breakaway towards the end there where he tries to go through the legs. That one doesn't go by. But the goals in this one were all scored towards the end of the game. It was all third period scoring because the first two were filled with nothing. And oddly enough, after that first period concluded, where it was 0-0, as we just said, I was kind of thinking to myself, the Colorado Avalanche played with so much pace, and this game was no different. The fact that the Vancouver Canucks actually went out there and they matched that pace, sure, I get that the money puck deserved to win meter said that Colorado should have won this game 70% of the time, but Vancouver was able to match that energy, which is not a trend we have seen often for this team, especially at the start of games. So the fact that they came out here with Jarro Halak in net against the best team in the Pacific, arguably the best team in the NHL, and they put up a performance like that in the first 20 minutes alone, that to me, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that was good. Good for them, good for the morale, good for, just being able to say that you're remaining competitive and still actually doing your thing here in the National Hockey League. The second period, we saw ourselves even more of that swagger coming through. Halak still had to step up big. The Canucks had so many penalties in this one. I don't usually ever like to call out the refs and critique their performances because, it's not really accomplishing anything. We all kind of know that the refereeing sucks in the National Hockey League. But this time, 5 power plays for the Colorado Avalanche, 1 for the Vancouver Canucks, and the 1 power play they get isn't even a full one. It's cut off because there's a 4-on-4 stint afterwards. And so Colorado got all these chances. They only scored on one of them. That was the Mountain Patry shot. But the Vancouver Canucks were just able to hang in there. And that's a good thing. So going on to the third period and talking about the goals that were actually scored, it's Elias Pettersson who steals the puck on the Colorado half-court. He centers it right over to the Slugfester goal, where he just grips it and rips it. You haven't seen too many of those, man. I've been saying in previous videos, he cannot just have a tap-and-goal power play every 3 or 4 games from block. He needs to start snaking it consistently, because this stint of 17 games remaining is going to determine whether or not he stays, goes, re-signs for a cheap cap hit, re-signs for an overpaid cap hit, or gets traded for somebody else. There is a deadline here for Brock, and things like these, consistency, where he's able to snipe goals left and right, that's what we need to see if the Vancouver Canucks are going to try to decide, okay, we got to keep this guy. We got to sign him to a qualifying offer, $7.5 million, whatever. We got to sign him to a contract that is justifiable. Then you have yourselves, 2 minutes later, JT Miller, who comes in with a very strange goal. It's Connor Garland, who at the half boards near the red line, half boards? No, the boards near the red line. He chips it by, leads to a 2-on-1 with Tanner Pearson. Pearson with the low shot. The rebound is right there. Darcy Kemper can't get it, and JT Miller, fighting off the check of Nathan McKinnon, is able to put it into the open cage on his backhand with relatively no resistance. That's JT Miller's 26th goal on the season. He is close to tying his career high of 27 goals, which he accomplished in the Vancouver Canucks first season, or in his first season with the Vancouver Canucks, Then, of course, you have yourself some more Colorado power plays. I'm sorry, Shen, you can't be taking those triple penalties, but at the same time, there were a lot of calls that I feel that the Canucks could have gotten that they did not. Colorado got away with a few of them here, but eventually it's a shot from Nathan McKinnon. It gets tipped on by Matthew Patry, and it's
Advisor can help you with personalized financial advice. TV ready advice. Online, in person, or on the phone.
Rebounded in. He gets the shot in tight over the pads of Yaroslav Halak. It's a good goal right there. 2-1. Eventually, the Avalanche try playing catch-up. They still have some very good Halak saves that are made throughout the third period. And once the empty net comes in days, it's Tanner Pearson who finds Miller. He throws it over for Horvat, who fights his way down the boards right by the check of Cale Makar, and he puts it into the upper cage. JT Miller gets an assist on this one, so that's his 51st assist on the year. JT Miller is at 77 points right now. He is on pace for 90 points over the span of 80 games. JT Miller, in a game where the Vancouver Canucks barely edged out a win, a game that was so tight, so intricate that the details and played with so much pace, was able to go out there and get 2 points to boost his point production up to an 82-day sample, averaging out about 100 total points. Like, my gosh, JT Miller's absolutely phenomenal, dude. If there is a trade in the offseason, please, the return has to be huge. You can't be going out there getting Benino, Spiza, and first for this guy, because I think this player sort of deserves a lot more than that. But either way, Colorado played a very good game. I do think that they were the better team in this one. I do think that.
Are you a big screen buff? Introducing CineClub, the movie lovers' monthly membership by Cineplex. For $9.99 a month, members get a monthly movie ticket.
Well, hello, you wonderful humans. Welcome back to Elden. Today's video, we're going to be going over how to get some of the best items you can get early in the game to give yourself a nice little, or really a big old boost. Now, the first item we're going to be going over is an action ore called the Bloody Slash, which allows you to not only have a little additional skill on your L2, but also allows you to apply blood effects to your weapons, which we'll go over here in a second. It's a very good buff. Now, the area that we're going to be going to is down here at Fort Height West. And if you're starting from the game, the first step, you go along this road, then it goes down through here, then you can take the road all the way around. Now, there's going to be a lot of bears around this tree, so I recommend taking off right now. Have fun with the bears. Still beat every game I've ever played. So, there is a Lost State of Grace right here, and then we're going to be going up to this fort. Now, there's a couple things that we want to get at this fort, so we need to fight our way through some of these enemies. Now, there is a giant crossbow at the top of this beat, so I recommend maybe just running past most of them. But you'll notice once you get to the top that there is this tree here. This tree is going to have one of those secret sacred seeds, and you need to upgrade the amount of flasks. Oh my god! Just watch out for all the dudes here. Now, these sacred seeds, depending on how many you have already, one will upgrade your flasks all the way up to, well, one at a time will upgrade it up to 6. Once you have 2, then you can upgrade it up to 7. So, getting your flask upgrades are pretty nice. Now, if you just ran in here like I did, you don't have to fight all of the enemies here. It's not really necessary. Just waiting for the big guy to get lured down, and I should be able to run past all of these without so much of an issue, because we want to get up to the top of the key. And I think, I've never tried this, I think we can just run through and get to the top of the key without really having to fight much of anything. This is kind of my goal here, because the item that we want, that Ash of War, is actually around the top of this keep, so I'm trying to avoid all of these people as much as possible. And there is the guy that we need to fight. He is more difficult than your average pro, so just keep that in mind. I don't know why I'm charging so much. There we go. So that's the Art of War that he has. Don't let that flood effect build up, because it does suck. Boom! You got the Ash of War, the Bloody Slash. Now this thing is awesome. We're going to go over why it's awesome here in a second. Now at the top of the tower that's next to where you just fought, that guy is a Dectus Medallion Flap. I don't exactly know what it's for, but I figured to point it out so you don't have to come back here in the future if you're playing the right one. From there, you can just travel back to the site of grace here, and we're going to go into our Ashes of War. Now, if you pick a slash weapon, you can assign a D20 slash to it, and really what we want to add here is the affinity for blood. It causes blood loss buildup. Now, this blood loss buildup is pretty awesome. You can't see it build up on your target, but you can definitely see it when it happens, because they will explode in blood, and you'll do a substantial amount of damage. This can really come into clutch with any type of boss, or really anything you're fighting again. Now, while you're on the side of grace, if you haven't already, make sure to add charges to the golden seed. Now, if you don't have a slash weapon, and you want one, you're going to want to grab this one. We're going to go after what is called the Katana. This is a katana which is slash and pierce. It's pretty good. Now, getting this weapon is incredibly easy. You can go all the way up here to where this bridge is, and Saints Bridge. Go back up to the hill, and there's this area here called the Death and Touch Catacombs. It's kind of along where these, I don't know if it's like an aqueduct or an old bridge or something. You can hop down here with your horse, and there's going to be this catacomb right here. Now all you have to do is just follow this thing. You don't want to find anything, you don't have to. Just find it, you will have to run back and roll the right, but it is definitely possible. I did it this way. So you can turn right around at these stairs, and then you're going to go through this tunnel. And then once you pop out of here, you can turn left immediately, or do what I did and grab these things and aggro more skeletons, which is probably not the preferred method. Just run right through here, and at the edge of this room is the Luigi Katana. Then you just kind of run through all the skeletons back out. Now, if you want another really awesome weapon, you can get one right on the road, kind of here. Now, if you've never been here, there's a couple different ways to follow the road up to here. But you're going to see this part of the road surrounded by these giant dog dinosaur things. Now, I always tried to do this in a simple way. I was wondering if I could actually move these steps without actually having to fight it. Now, what we're trying to get to is the back of this part. It looks like you can get there by sneaking in. Because in the back of this right here, easy. Didn't even have to fight anything. And inside of here is the Great Sword. Now you will need a lot of strength to be able to wield this weapon. Its attribute required is 31 strength. And it's actually scaling as a strength towards C. Now, if you have 3 minutes, also have defeated large to get to. And if you have not defeated this particular boss yet, I've got a video, I'm going to leave it in the comment on items that you can get to really help you out to defeat this particular boss. We're going to need to go to the Stormvale Castle cliffside. You get that by running through the only way you can run through the castle when you get there. And we can actually do this without fighting anything here. And all we need to do is just keep running. I'm not even going to loot anything through here. We're just going to try and run through, roll around. There we go. When you go through here and start just climbing all the way up these stairs. Try not to get blown up. Oh, I thought I was making it through there. There is a lot of annoying things through here. It's probably easier to, I don't know, kill everybody, but I like just plowing through everything if possible. There we go. These guys throw these fire bombs, which kind of make it difficult to get through, but you can just roll through everything. It's the crazy man's way to do this, but it's possible. Now once you get to these stairs here, you're going to hook in through here, you're going to open this door, you're going to roll in through here, and you have a little fight. Now this guy's not too bad, he's not a full-blown boss, he's like the miniest of mini-bosses, and if you've already gotten the bloody slash, it's going to really help you out with that. But inside of here is a chest, and inside of this chest is a talisman that we're looking for. The curved sword of talisman. Oh, yeah. Well, hello, you wonderful humans, and welcome back to Elden Ring. In today's video, we're going to be going over some of the best weapons that you can get in the game, especially early on. And we're also going to show where you can get a full armor set like the one that we're wearing now. So I haven't actually covered a lot of different armor in the game, although I've found quite a bit of it. So we'll cover one of these armor sets today. And the first weapon we're going to cover is actually a staff. Now the first weapon we're going to be going after is called the Meteorite Staff. This is a keystone staff with incredibly high attribute scaling for your intelligence. And it also has a passive effect of boosting gravity sorceries. Kind of sorcerer build or looking for something with a little bit more range, but they don't have to invest a ton of intelligence into. This is definitely going to be the weapon for you. It does a ton of damage, especially when tied in with this like rock throw ability. And you can equip a bunch of different things on here that is going to make this pretty freaking amazing. Are you tired from all of your grinding in Elden Ring? Feeling nasty from all of the energy drinks and Red Bull you've been consuming? Well, how about you try a Verb Bar, a healthy source of energy all derived from green tea, and it equates to a shot of espresso and each bar. Get a healthy boost of energy with a link in the description below. Now, to be able to get this staff, we're going to head over to Caleb. Now, this time I think that's how that's pronounced. If you've never been here before, it's really easy to get there from your starting location down here in the first step. Follow the road up along here, and just kind of keep following this road all the way over until you get into the area where the Street of Sages ruins are. Now once you're here, you're just going to simply run into this little swamp, and we're going to head to a couple different locations in here. There's actually a few things that you can get here that are pretty good. I've actually picked up one of the armor sets that is here. This is a little bit of a bonus, but if you run into this little corner right here, inside of this building is going to be a guy on this edge. You can pick that up, and we're going to get the Meteorite Staff. So we can actually get out of here alive. There's also a golden rune in that corner. There we go. Maybe jumping in there with your horse, not the best idea. And then if we go over to this building right next to it, I believe it's on the other end of this, yes. Right up here is going to be a full armor set that we already looted in a previous video. It's going to be on those little corpses here. And then if we go back into here, there's going to be one of these little staircases that lead down into a cave. And this is going to be for a spell that you're definitely going to want to pair with this staff. Now inside of this room is going to be a chest. This wonderful treasure chest for the rock sling spell. Now while we're in this area, we're going to get the meteoric ore katana as well. If you head just a little bit farther south from the Street of the Sages ruins, there's going to be another set of ruins right here. And if we're looking over, you can see exactly where we gotta go, and that little set of stairs just in front of me. So we're just going to run past everybody. And we're going to get inside of here, just avoiding everything along the way. Oh my god, his butt stabbed me. Now there are going to be a lot of enemies down here, so at the end of this county run, you might be able to run all the way through. But as you can see, I already died down here once. I got stuck next to a wall. So I decided that I'm just going to murder everything down here instead. Because I think it's just going to work a little bit better. But there's a lot of stuff here. They all kind of have poison. Especially if you have like the summons with you or something. You should be pretty good to kind of take everything out down here. The summons help out a lot. Once you take out all the enemies in this area, you can open up the door and get yourself a nice little reward. Now you can do this without fighting everything. Maybe if you type stuff around, you can access the door. But this gives you the meteoric ore blade. Now the attribute scaling for this is strength, dex, and intelligence, with an intelligence power of 18, strength 15, and dex 40. Now fortunately I don't have the dexterity for this because I'm not cool, but its special ability is actually to stab down into the ground that causes a gravity well and stuns surrounding enemies, which is pretty cool. Hound's Bay. Now the location you're going to need to go to is pretty early in the game. You're going to need to go to the Forlorn Hound's Evergoal. And then once you're here, you need to go into here and defeat the main boss. Now if you got this staff at the beginning of the video, this will also help you take down this particular boss. As long as you can dodge his attacks, you should be able to take him down with like a glintstone spell or something like that, or even with the heavy gravity shards or the rocks, whatever you want to call them. Just make sure you don't die when you run out of mana accidentally and not notice. It's pretty easy. And there's actually Bloodhound's Bag. Now this particular weapon is pretty awesome. It's got this skill that allows you to slash up and jump back, but if you combine this with a heavy attack right afterward, you can then jump forward and do a heavy slash. It is particularly deadly, and it's just a really fun weapon to use. The attributes required are 18 strength and 17 dex, and it has a decent dex attribute scaling. Next, I'm going to show you how to unlock a pretty cool armor set. Really cool. Now, the armor set we're talking about is the Carry and Knight armor, and this has a full set to it, although I'm not wearing all of it because I'm a cocky boy and I haven't leveled up my endurance enough. But the stats on here are pretty darn good, especially at the very beginning of the game. You can get this extremely quickly anytime you start a new game if you so desire. And plus, it just looks really cool. Because you're going to need to head all the way into Lorinia. Now, if you don't know how to bypass the first boss, I've shown this quite a few times in previous videos. You head up to the Stormhill Shack from the first step. You just kind of unlock your horse, and then you can run through all of this stuff. And you go around this little road here. You go across the bridge, you jump down, and you're able to find this pathway that takes you all the way around the castle and bypass the first boss until you get the lake-facing cliffs. Then from here, you're just going to follow this road all the way down and into the swamp stack here. And you're able to just kind of follow this road all the way up to here, and you're going to get to the South Raya Lucaria gates. At this point, you can unlock this Site of Grace, and then if you want to do it with
the Pokemon Trading Card Game, Brilliant Stars, available now.
storyline. You can loot this little dude right here. He's going to tell you to go to, or this, he's going to have a note on him that tells you to go to this meeting place, and we got to steal a key. Killer dead NPC tells you to go right here. There's going to be a big scary dragon there, but you don't have to fight it. All you need to do is approach the dragon, get it to wake up, and then roll your crazy self kind of around it. I don't know why I was trying to sneak there. I very much knew I was being aggroed. And you can collect all the items here, but the key that you need is on this guy in the back. Run away or die, and then head back to this main gate, and you should now be able to access this new area. There's going to be another site of grace that you can unlock here, and then you're going to take this lift up to the top. From that lift, you're going to head up the stairs here. Now, if you want, you can kill these guys or fight them, or you can just run through and open this door. And then once you open that door, you're going to run very quickly through this hallway and synchronize with this new site of grace. So once you've got this site of grace, we're almost to the piece of armor. All we need to do from here is just head on down through here, and we're going to follow this pathway all the way around. You don't have to fight a single thing, just keep running through all of this stuff. And there's going to be a secret little passage that we can access to unlock this armor. You can run past all of these guys. You can whip out a torch if you so desire. Oh. Alright, I didn't get shot that many times last time I ran through here. Alright, so yeah, to be a little wary of that, but we're going to run into this building, and then at this point, instead of going straight, what we're going to do is we're going to jump right out this window. You can pillage these remains right here for golden runes, and then we're going to run along this edge, all the way down to where these guys are. Don't fall off the edge. And you don't have to fight them at all, just run right through and pick up the full armor sets. Easy peasy. Now, because this one is my favorite weapon, I'm going to go over the location of the Sword of Night and Flame again. Just in case you all missed it in the previous video, this is, in my opinion, one of the best weapons in the game. It's kind of stupidly good, and I'm going to show you quick how to get it pretty much at the beginning of the game. Now, there are some hefty stat requirements for this, with intelligence of 24, faith 24, strength, and dex of 12. But in my opinion, I think it's super worth it because of the additional skills that you have, which is this like super slash of death, and then the wide sweep of flaming death. Now, I do have a detailed guide of how to do all of this in the previous video that I made for this weapon, so if you want to check that out, feel free to check it out in the description or in the top right corner. But you need to go through the same shortcut that we mentioned for the armor that we're now wearing, and you need to get into this particular area, going across all of the swampy scariness again, and eventually ending up here in the northern Lernia Lakeshore. Head north into the King's Realm ruins, which you're going to run straight through. Now, right now I have this wall opened, but when you run here for your first time, this wall will appear as a wall. You just got to give it a good old slap-a-rooski and unlock this site of grace. And one thing that I forgot to point out in the previous video is this dude right here actually sells the items that you need to upgrade this weapon, or any really rare weapon in the game, with these somber smithing glintstones. You're going to need level 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s to be able to level it up, and it's incredibly powerful when you do. So gate and unlock the site of grace up there. Now once you arrive at the entrance, this is where things are going to get spicy. We're going to run in through the entrance here, and we're going to hug the left-hand side of this path. If we're going to try and avoid all of the little hands that are in the ground, these things will very well one-shot you, so just try and avoid them as much as right there. This is where I died because I realized I wasn't recording when I ran through the first time. But we're going to go, keep going to the left. Now there's going to be another hand right there, and then also one that's already out of the ground. So I recommend running past this as quick as possible, because if it hits you, you're gonna die. Alright, now we're inside of this building. We need to head up to the top, where there's going to be a site of grace for us to be able to rest at. Okay, so we're just going to continue along. this path right here. And we're going to avoid every single thing that spawns. The guards here, roll past them, just avoid them. There we go. And we're going to keep running this way. And when we get to this bridge right here, we're actually going to need to jump down to this deep below. Do that right about here. And once we're here, we're going to jump down one more level. And then we're going to head down this ladder. Once in this building, we're there, baby. All you have to do is loot this wonderful chest. And you're going to be able to acquire the Sword of Knights in Flame. This video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Orders of heroes who've been fighting each other for centuries.
Like Vin Diesel and The Rock. I think we lost him. Nope, it's very not lost.
How's it going, everyone? I want to talk a couple things in this video. Some free-to-play games updates. Specifically, one of the biggest recent free-to-play titles. Plenty things is way over the console since the demand is high enough. We'll talk about that. That, of course, being a lost art. Planet Side 2 Expedition Ocean arrived on PlayStation 4, so you can check that out over on Planet Side 2. And we have a bunch of PlayStation 4 and 5 game deals that I do want to talk about in just a little bit. We'll save that for the end of the video. But first up, Amazon Games spoke to PG 24/7, and we got a little bit of information regarding the potential of a lost art over on consoles. Obviously, it's available on PC right now, but we've seen a lot of titles that are free-to-play games on PC. They start out on PC and eventually make their way over the top. Not even free-to-play titles. Big titles in general. Planet Side 2 being one of them, and of course, you have games like Diablo and other games that have made the transition from PC to console. Summer Park spoke to me in 24/7 and noted that Lost Ark on companies that have been pretty long, and I think it's something both parties consider. Now, if you guys don't actually know, obviously Lost Ark recently came out on PC over on Steam. It just blew the hell up, having a concurrent player count of over 1 million players. That at the same time, it was ridiculous how many players Lost Ark had. Even before its official release, if you bought one of the Founders Packs, you get into the game early. Servers were hard to get into. Servers were filling up. You were getting rewards if you moved from an overfilled server into a different server. It was a wild one. At this point, it's still a very popular game. I don't think it's obviously the launch is going to be its most popular period, but it's still incredibly popular here. I'm pulling up the concurrent player base for you guys right now on Steam, and you're still looking at 385,000 players online at the same time. Yes, that might be a big drop-off from its peak, but that is still an incredibly high number to maintain after a month and a half since its original release. Yeah, it's been about a month and a half. The game's been very popular on PC, pretty well received. I played quite a bit of it, and I enjoyed it. It's just, I wasn't super into it to the point where I dropped everything, and February was a weird time period where I was playing Lost Ark for a little bit, but then you had Dying Light 2, you had Horizon, and you had Elden Ring as like 3 big games that came out in February, all pretty big, so I couldn't be one of those people.
Who's turning out couch?
What's going on, guys? We're gonna find out what you're doing trade deadline players is. Basically, anyone trade on the trade deadline will be obsolete. I think like Josh Mann is the first player we should use. Alex Ford for we should not. Now, I'm going to analyze Dust here because basically the way I think three of the biggest players after that line in Manson and Vancover and NHL. So rather than have those statistics for all those guys, we'll just take them out. And then studying a trade deadline team here. And get that's what trade deadline. Decided to go like something that CSN. Trade deadline colors, top colors there. Mark under Flurry, Claude Drew, and Mark Cristiano. Rack pretty highly rated as well. You can see there. Ian overall actually has a title playing the high grade Pacific. Only one overall behind the Avalanche, the highest grade in the West. So it seems should make well. And then you go to the line for this team. Probably one of like the weakest man overall that we've seen. Should still be a playoff team. So first line team got Andrew Kaufman, Claude Drew, and Carter Tell. It's a pretty nice first line. Second line team got Tadro, Domi, Hagel. So I will say, when I made this team down upgrade, I'm still unsure if I'm going to go through or not. Now I'm seeing that the trade hasn't been vetoed. So I'm still saying the trade happened, kind of like in fantasy, you could trade through that the reason you vetoed it. The trade did happen, and you still had to veto it. So I'm going to leave him on the team, kind of beat him honestly. Third line here, Vancover, Dark Front, Lekanen, fourth line, Paul, Frank, Stanford. Onto the fourth line, is like a defensive specialist. So that's solid. Everyone else, again, still like really star forward other than Drew, but hopefully, like, you know, this is going to balance them. It's okay. Defensively, though, they're very solid. Third and open on top there, again, +5. We're both playing like 9+. Second pair, you got Manson and Leddy. I really like that. Leddy's one an offensive guy. Manson's one more defensive. And the bomb, they got too much of main defensive. They're not too lax. So hopefully, it's solid for us. Of course, that's what I'm going to see. Great line, but they play again overall. The free throw back is being Catman at 3. In terms of special teams, I didn't really get the great chemistry. Power play there, both 0, but I mean, the first one was pretty solid, led by Drew. 4-man, -1 for both, is actually that second get. I'm not sure how that's going to tell the chemistry. 4-man, PK here, +2 for both. Again, that's like, that's the specialist, like Stern, Stanford, even though that's pretty good. Defensively, 3-man, you have 0 to -1, but that's I can do. There was actually one of the extra players being played in the team. I want to say get an 8 down here, so I just 8 forward. Toronto, Joe, Pivot, get a +2, Joseph, Blackwell, Hampton, Clemson, Appleton, they're all 80 overall, so I don't include them. And again, it's just the first team on their phone line there, all 1. Technically as well, a couple guys, Dexter and Ron, same rating as Sherrod and Gulak, but Ron and Gulak got 34 more, which ends up being like the different things. I figured, you know, the guys who got some very big pieces of like, the guys actually on the team, experience with the captaincy. I would probably give Flurry a letter, but I can't, so we're really ready to see their hand on the home players to A. And looking at the season so far, guys, he's actually done well. That's surprising me. We're 5-1. We've got 10 points in 16 nasty. So hopefully keep that up. That line of him, top and Kel does well. And our ratings here, we've got 88 offense, 91 defense, 90 goaltending. I got to do this again, like a CSN trade deadline, color scheme. Make good look at the home, the away. Alternate, I actually might like the online alternate for that. So, we have to sit here and real quick, guys, I want to thank CT for today's video. Live events are back, and then we can get $20 off your ticket at CT with those taxes. And if you guys are somehow super to CT, with the ticketing app that makes buying tickets super simple, and especially if you download the app on your phone, by far and away, it's way to buy tickets. Whether it's a hockey game, concert, festival, football, basketball, baseball, doesn't matter what it is. CT takes tickets all over the web, puts it in one place, and buying super simple. CT also has a color-coded system. You know when you're getting a good deal. It is free and big deal, start things with that, and drag into that deal. And obviously, guys, just want to remember, I'm pretty excited to order deal being back up. That way, you start with the revenue team again, even Saturday games in the summer. And make sure you guys get the best deal possible. You might go tactics, $20 off takes CT. That's $20 off your first purchase. You can promo code tactics, and make sure you put the link in the description box below. Download the app. That's kind of funny, guys. That's what's simulating. I want to show me one extra on that, but not happening. And I look at the team, if you come to call that strong back, they give me another $30 here. They got nothing crazy. This is a big one. We're going to go to entertain for basically nothing with the third for second and fourth. You know, say no though. I'm tired now. I'm a lot of away from the guys, but we're almost against December here, guys. As you can see, we're 13, 19, and 5. Not doing too well. This one's kind of fun, guys. First time this on the turtle, smaller line trigger, but I think that's fine to start long term here. And you guys can see your first and trade deadline, still have a negative record again. God, we want to get, you know, ever. I think probably could have really with stuff I believe that part of the story, but I guess you probably know by now, I feel like believe that so now I want to actually hear much of the results you know this morning. Eight doesn't dominate. I'm going to keep it, but all of you on this with 110 scores and only just 30 scores. It's kind of funny that Drew leads for NHL. We got a 31 So not that you guys are surprised we actually hit the bottom record 37-38-9. This is going to be kind of a lot at times. So where are we at today? 6 play days, 45 starts, 4 points back from what I was bought. We almost made it, and there's a couple wins there, but what we're doing is my dad having week 89, through 71-82 is bad. 8 goes and already in the playoffs from a couple points back to the game. So it was everyone else is on this team. Yeah, kind of say through that offense. Top 7, played by role from their mind team. So this one I think one. That's not good. Yeah, I'm on the 69 side. Hopefully the Roosters, our 7-1 team ended off at 5. Don't get 5. Able to plus, that's a 45, here's a 43, he's got things that get that's called that every second, that's the guy there, goaltending wise, the play, that's not a good point, he's not even saying, overall goaltending, that's really not a goaltending, that's what I'm saying, and all the 3 points we want to get, but after some of that,
yeah, I was on Myers. Playing on top line, top 4 defensive pairings. Rich Line is still playing that top line though. Oh, fuck you!
Nowhere close, unfortunately. Defensive scoring here. Angelo loses it. I don't think they're going to be. I guess through the end of it, but I know it's over these guys. But the first year, probably going to call it better. That's one good for him. And moves in line. I'm kind of wanting to worry on the last shot put off. Kind of good at same percentage for starter. Marshall, 194. And moving Jets for a starter. Okay, Colorado dominating first place, 126 points, 17 to 100 plus. Let's see, where were we? Finished 21st at NHL. Okay, yeah, we had like 4 teams there, between us and playoff spot. Not bad, but that's not good enough. We tried to put a little better after the deadline, but too little too late. Tried to be predators last minute shot. Like that's really surprising because really so good. Games, I know both got through the scores really so nice. Arizona is like one of the best things. And I just tried that NHL just swept in the first round. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't say like there's 2 teams up in the NHL, and they're right there. And this is insane. The Stanley Cup champions and the Philadelphia Flyers, winning it with Giroux, and the Calder Cup champions and the Wade Alexander. So Philadelphia is a clean sweep. Chris Giroux still in the franchise. Like, are you kidding me? I don't think first overall, everyone knows something not used to there. With the Montreal pay. I'll actually grab the message guys. I found kind of crazy, but now the Giroux played 1,000 games with Flyers, like what, a year before getting traded, and then I think 1,000 games right before getting traded, like what did I, and then he gets it 5. So yeah, I don't know. I guess they thought that we had Giroux, and anything. I don't know if it's Stanley Cup. I'm going to go work here. David Archibald. I'm part of the story. They gave it Arizona. They call it there. Tom Mike. After that, the 30 wins that he showed, first from African, Apple Coach Jack, Adam, first on South, Peter Sever, and Chris Rob there, for technical, how they do. So, unfortunately, no awards for us, unless the AHL and kind of pulled something earlier. For an AHL award, winner, San Diego Call, 1-1, and 4 defense, 4 whatever. So, great going team, had no hardware, unfortunately, but. Yeah, like I said, a very weak overall kind of solid. Competitive, not again, but we have to close start in the process. But that's going to be the case for this one. Hopefully, enjoy it if you see that comes. So that's it. Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, you can throw that down below now.
As cheese, we test for the cheesy, crunchy satisfaction in every flavor. Cheez-It in 10 cheesy flavors. Cheesy, crunchy satisfaction. Cheesy-free all March long in Boston pizza. That's right. For the month of March, kids eat free with minimal purchase. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our remastered Venus
Dark Souls 3 boss ranking. It's been years since I've ranked things across the entire Soul 4 series, so we're back with a 4-part return to Blood Souls to rank the top 10 hardest, easiest, worst, and best bosses in the franchise. When I first began making Soul content back in 2016, I had only played these games 3 times in most. Heck, the footage from my Dark Souls 2 videos was my first ever playthrough of the game. In the modern day, however, I've played 2 games now. Time score estimates on Twitch. Even though I don't play the Soul games much anymore, the experience I've collected over the last 2 years color my opinion on the bosses. Entirely different realm. That is the perspective of a veteran. A player that knows these bosses like the back of their hand. A player that knows every advantage available to them throughout the game against the bosses. A player that has grounded the fundamentals of combat so hard into their bones that they completed challenges that just the greatest limits have been resolved. But for this remastered series with such these bosses on how they stack up for a standard playthrough, that is for someone who's well seasoned in the game. So if you keep using very strong builds in the footage, don't be surprised. I pulled no punches and taking advantage of the power at my disposal. Today's video will focus on the bosses that, despite my wealth of knowledge and experience, still give me trouble to this day. Of course, these rankings are 100% my opinion and they'll be reflective of what bosses give my playstyle trouble and exploit my abilities. Your selections will likely vary drastically from my own, so be sure to sound off in the comments with your own thoughts. With all that out of the way, here are the top 10 hardest bosses in the Soul series. Number 10, Old King Doran's Demon Soul. Old King Doran, better known as Long Schlong Donkey, is a fucking beast. The entry into his fight is so cool. The guy actually asks you to beat the shit out of him to prove you're worthy of the legendary royal blade that you protect. And I'm sure you're thinking with your complete thought, okay, old man, whatever you say. Nani? You think that bad? See how brutally your anus is destroyed by his donger. What makes the fight so absurd is how perfect you have to be throughout. Unlike many other bosses where you can get away and heal, Doran actually can one-shot you if given the chance. And since it takes what feels like 375 years to whittle down his planet-sized health bar, it's reasonable you fall victim to him at some point. I actually don't know if I could fight Doran straight up. This strats are the only viable strats here, and Duncan spent just enough time making me hit bitch over the years that he made his way onto this list. Number 9, Ancient Dragon Dark Souls 2. That's the lightning of Duncan's finger strips in a bottle, and turn that to your essence into a boss with all the power in the world to obliterate you. You have yourself an ancient dragon. Fuck this thing! I know today is the top 10 worst bosses in the Soul series, but it's like if Runstop had a one-night stand with a dragon and this mistake was born. You don't need any kind of perfect setup to be one-shot by the ancient dragon. It just happens. Unless you have a healthy amount of bits bigger, then you will get one-shot by every single attack. And just like Doran, this fight lasts for what feels like an eternity. One small mistake and it is back to the bonfire with you. Fighting this dragon is a chore, and it is one of the hardest errands you'll encounter in the entire franchise. Number 8, Black Dragon Calamite Dark Souls Remastered. Continuing in the path of the dragon, we make a leap from shit swamp into the heavens. Calamite. At least they designed you well. They also designed you to give me the business with relative ease, but I forgive you. Rather than being difficult for highly damaging attacks or having a massive health bar, Calamite finds a smoother balance. Electric Snake does have a decent pool of health and does high damage, but he also has a much bigger bag of tricks and attacks far faster, has hitboxes and moves all around the arena. Learning his spells is vital to some of his melee-based attacks that followed up by a barrage of flames that can leave you real. This makes your windows to heal an attack much more difficult to find, and for an early series 16 boss, does a pretty great job of keeping you out from under it. And God forbid you get caught in calamity mist, and maybe you take double damage for an extended period. All this brings us to a more balanced state than the previous entry, but this balanced state for greater difficulty in either of those one-dimensional base camps. Number 7, Dark Eater Meteor, Dark Souls 3. I'm going to go ahead and guess that you expected the final boss in our trio of dragons to be much higher up on this list. There's a few reasons why I say that. For starters, the girth of his health bar makes our previous entries blush. He does opposing damage, even being able to 1 or 2 shot some of the bitchiest bigger builds. And he is fast like Calamite, moving all around this large arena. While I get over the edge over Calamite being his health in a smaller part of the air and his biggest first battles, he's not all that different. In fact, in some ways I'd say he could be easier than Calamite. It's what lands him on the bottom half of the list. While Meteor's attacks are difficult to dodge, they all have very well evident tells and are nowhere near impossible to avoid. If you do manage to avoid them, you'll find the Meteor leaves a few seconds until the attack his head, which takes the most damage anyway. It's great that the fight doesn't seem to work fighting him head on, because I promise you that it's far harder to hit those angles than fail. Even with the large windows of opportunity, though, you still have to be able to skillfully dodge all of his attacks and be ready to take advantage. That's a much easier set than John landing here at the number 7 spot. Number 6, Mr. Breed and Father Ariandel, Dark Souls 3. If you see my Dark Souls 3 difficulty ranking with this DLC included, I'm sure you're left wondering why Breed is higher than Figure because it's contradictory. As I mentioned, the Figure's changed over time, and I think looking at everything over my history with the game, While Veneer and Gale before her opposing friends with challenge brothers, God has never put me to my lips in Dark Souls 3, quite like Sister Creed and Father Aaron. The first phase isn't too difficult and serves as a solid warm-up for the next part of the fight where Daddy wakes up. 2 months late, that's that. This can go one of 2 directions. You can go full balls and feed off Father's health like your life depends on it. If you're fast enough, Creed will never bother attacking you and will instead go for healing. You will be able to out-damage the healing and phase before anything bad happens. If Creed's overly aggressive, though, you'll have to run around wildly and wait for a good opportunity, which can be very, very difficult. The third phase is the true challenge, however. Creed goes absolutely bonkers taking moves out of Lady Maria's toolkit. You know what else she takes? First, speed. Creed moves at a speed that is simply too fast for Dark Souls 3. Your windows of opportunity to hit her are so minuscule that it took me hours to finally get to a point where I know when I can go after her, and they are few and far between. In the large moments you spend waiting, you'll have to fend off her fury. It is ridiculously hard. In fairness, if she was slower, it would be easy to backstab again in some odds. So I do think it's fairly balanced under the circumstances, but that doesn't stop it from being what I feel like is an enormous challenge. Number 5, Ignite, Dark Souls 2. Here he is, boys and girls. Phew! Seriously think that may be the most repeated comment I've ever received on any video. Rain is a challenging man, okay? When I made the initial video, I had only fought him the one time, and I didn't think it was all that bad. Years later, this challenge does, however, I've realized just how small the margin of error is in this fight. You have to worry about attacks from both hands, and that can screw up your intuition. He moves pretty fast by Dark Souls 2 standards. Healing is doing an impossible gamble, and he does suffer from ADD problems. Questionable hitbox. You wrap all that up in a phase 2 that does some of the highest damage in the series, the potential for him to heal if you haven't collected the smelter weapon. It makes you tonight a boss, second with, and one that I am finally giving him proper food. Number 4, the Filed Watchdog Bloodborne. Moving down a spot from his original ranking, the Filed Watchdog is still as hard as ever. Don't mistake his drop speed that I suddenly find him any bit easier. Hell no, this dog still forces me to stay far away and use the strategy of keeping him at distance and smacking his face into a break. I am a tried and true smacker of boobies, and I am actually scared to touch it. Instead, I'm relegated to a face smacker. Where else can I say the best way to handle a situation with a dog up in flames is to smack him in the face until he's dead? Somebody called me that. Seriously though, to me it's never worth going against the different directions in this fight to get an advantage from it, because for the final challenge makes it so easy to get one shot. This buffer will always remain one of Bloodborne's hardest challenges, and he's well deserving of maintaining a spot in the top 5 after all these. Number 3, Flame Lurker, Demon Soul. With time comes change, however, in the top 3 fragments of Rescue, Flame Lurker was a fringe contender for the original list. After doing multiple other playthroughs of Demon Soul, it's impossible for me to not include it. There are very few bosses left in this series, and can still a sense of dread enemies that creep toward their arena, but Flame Lurker does exactly that. After all these years, I feel like I have an advantage in those items my knowledge, but unless you overabuse magic, this monster is such an unpredictable quantity that I can never guess how it's gonna go. Sometimes I'm gonna get blasted to oblivion, other times Demon Soul's native AI shines and Flame Lurker acts like a balloon. When you have enchanted weapons, soul arrows, or old enough to use a standard weapon, you always pose some kind of threat. Even with the near unlimited healing in the game, it doesn't matter if he doesn't give you that chance, because you're completely random. Do yourself a big favor if you aren't using magic and slap some sticky white stuff on your sword and beat him mercilessly with it. It's your best bet of making it out of our number 3 fight alive. Number 2, Lawrence, the first Vancover, Bloodborne. Earlier we had a pattern of dragons, and now we have the Flaming Trio. The hardest of these fiery challenges is easily Lawrence. I feel like a broken record, but it's likely the same as many of the lower entries on the list. Absurdly high damage mixed in with a ton of health, but unlike Cali's the year before him, he's even more balanced. And when I say balanced, I mean he's lightning quick in comparison, as it currently range that makes even long dog get me to pick up the jaw on the floor, and he has fire after effects. I can't overstate how much this is for us to cover in what feels like a blink of an eye. Many of his attacks have to be dodged in such a precise instant that it can feel nearly impossible. And if you mess up the timing in the slightest, you'll take double damage thanks to the counter system of Bloodborne, but can lead to one shot. Even if it doesn't, you'll be left needing to heal against the boss that is liable to follow up before you can even react. He's ridiculous, and frankly, one of the most egregious examples of things leading to who are feeling like bullshit over being fair when it comes to bosses in the series. Others want to find a boss that is able to take all the difficulty of Florence and pack it in a truly well-balanced fight that extends even beyond the challenge of the first fight card. And our number one boss, Gravity.
Doing all the cracks.
Our real number one hardest boss in the Soul series, Orphan of Kos, Bloodborne. After 2 years, it hasn't changed, and unless we get another game in the Soul series, I don't think it ever will. Orphan of Kos is the sole boss left in the franchise that still to this day can beat me multiple times with ease on every single playthrough, no matter how much practice I put in. His level of aggression is arguably above what seems to be possible in games of Bloodborne. The damage he has to go along with it is some of the highest outputs in the franchise. He has the health bar that is comparable to any of the bosses on the split. He has the face that most greater challenge in the first phase would be worthy of this spot on its own. Dealing with him jumping all over the place, throwing acid in your face, matching you with grip and calling it swarms of lightning from leads with little time to heal, attack, and do anything other than get overwhelmed and was feeling an endless abyss of defeat. Orphan truly is the nightmare of the series, and that's a throne I have to wonder if he'll ever win. But
Be sure it's reset. Is it reset? Yeah. And we're going out for a walk, okay? 100%. Which way?